talked about being challenged by some of the comments coming out of the game, the toughness level, physicality, and all that you've seen over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think our guys have responded. You push our guys up against the wall, and they're competitive. So they know what they have to do, and I think we've had a good couple weeks of practice going into the holiday, and had a good one yesterday. Looking forward to a physical, fast, competitive day today.
When the defensive staff looked at what happened in the big games, what did you see as the common theme there?
Just playing with a chip on our shoulder, playing with great energy. Those are big things. But we're moving past that game now. We're excited about this game. Another great challenge, great opportunity. We certainly have our work cut out for us. So, just looking to play fast and aggressive and play blocks well. And at the end of the day, it's X's and O's are great, but usually it comes down to running fast, hitting hard, getting off blocks, making tackles. Particularly in a bowl game, we've had some time.
Matt, what stands out about Utah when you put the tape on?
Physical. Yeah, they're a very physical team. Very well coached. They're sort of NFL style, and that they use multiple tight end personnel groupings, and they do a good job with pre-snap shifting and motion. Some of the things you see more in the NFL than you do in college football. But the thing that jumps off the tape right away is their physicality. They try to run the ball downhill, and they're big up front, and do a really good job. Very well coached.
Considering what happened in the last game, is that a good matchup for you? Do you look forward to that kind of matchup, or is it a physical game?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, we all feel like we were backed against the wall coming out of that last one, and so now we have a chance to regroup and practice hard, and I think we're more motivated than ever, and we'll need to be, because it's a very, very good football team, very talented, extremely well coached, and again, very physical. So we'll have a great challenge.
How do you balance the celebration that is this week with trying to use this as a stepping stone for next season?
Yeah, great question. I think that's kind of been Coach Day's thing. Is it's still the Rose Bowl, right? I mean, you work hard all year to have an opportunity to go play in a game that's as special as this one, and you got to make the most of the opportunity and make sure that our players and our whole organization feels like it's a celebration. So I think it's time management. I think it's when we're in meetings, when we're working out, when we're in practice, when we're doing all the things football related. Let's be all in. Let's be down early. Let's be ready to roll. And then when we kind of blow the horn and bring it up and hit the shower, so to speak, let's go enjoy it. So it's that ability to manage your time.
Thought on Cam Rising, the Utah quarterback, what you saw since he took it over in the season?
He's just gotten better every game. If you watch, he ran over what I think is an outstanding linebacker from Oregon, and he's faster than you like. He's more physical than you like. He throws a better ball than you like. He's a really good player that I think has gotten better and better throughout the season, and particularly as he got into that conference championship game and down the stretch, he's played exceptionally well. So we have a great challenge.
Matt, has it been uncomfortable at all with the Jim Knowles situation, knowing that another guy is going to be coming in, how that impacts the rest of the staff? What's that like for you guys?
We're all professional. I could see you on the outside looking in where you might think that, but we're all professionals. We all understand how this business works, and I just as a film junkie myself, what little bit of Oklahoma State I had a chance to watch, it's an exciting defense. He does an outstanding job. I'm excited for the future of our program defensively.
I think he met with the players for a day or two. Did he meet with you guys as a staff and have communications with you guys?
He did meet with our players. I believe they had one meeting, and then we met with Jim.
You know what your role is going to be back next year? Do you know for sure?
Right now, Bill, I'm just trying to go win this game. And if you've watched Utah on tape, you know how much work it's going to take to try to get that done. So, really, sometimes I can be obsessive, and I'm really just obsessed about this game and trying to give our kids a great opportunity to go win.
But you're human, and that's got to be hard to compartmentalize to the degree that you have to be thinking about this.
Talk to my wife. She'd tell you I'm not human at all. No, she wishes maybe I would change some more diapers or do some more dishes or something like that, but I can't get away from the film. So, I'm really just trying to focus on Utah. Again, if you watch them play, you know what the challenge will be. We're just focused on that.
Matt, you mentioned the 3 tight end look that they use, challenges that those 3 tight ends present when they line up against them.
Yeah, I tell you this, they're all more athletic than any tight end should be. They kind of, I think they've done a really good job, whether it's recruiting or developing, but they're kind of a basketball team. You know, they got a big center in there, and 89, powerful guy, really good blocker. Again, catches the ball better than you'd like, and then 86 and 80. I mean, 80 they use as a slot receiver. You know, 86 will flex out. They all run. We get the GPS reports that they all run over 20 miles per hour. I mean, they are very, very talented. So it's a matchup issue. It's who do you put on him? Is it a linebacker? Can that linebacker cover him if he flexes out? Is it a safety? Can that safety, go play in the run fit when they're in the core of the formation? And then just in general, when you have more tight ends in the game, you can create some extra gaps. That whereas in a 1 tight end set, you have 7 gaps, and now as soon as you're in a 2 tight end or a 3 tight end set, now you're talking about 8, 9, and even times 10 gaps you got to defend. And it's just different. It's not something that you see a ton in college football.
Does their back work well in that zone scheme? Their number 1 back kind of took over.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's a bruiser. He runs the ball downhill. He's an Ohio kid, so he'll be geeked up for this one, I'm sure. He's a really good player. And again, they kind of got a basketball team, at running back as well. They got a big guy that leans on you, and he's hard to bring down. And they got 2 kind of change of pace guys that can go the distance on you. I think it was number 5 went for, I think 97 or something like that against Stanford. I mean, he can go. He sees it, and they do a really good job. On 3rd down, they do a good job getting those guys the ball coming out of the backfield and create some man-to-man issues on you. So it's a really good group. Great challenge.
Are there similarities to the Michigan offense with the Utah offense?
There's some crossover just in that you get some more tight end sets that, I think frequently in college football now, a 2 tight end set is really just a fancy 1 tight end set. I don't know how many teams are truly using 2 and 3 tight ends to be in those types of formations where, traditional 12 and 13 personnel formations. But, Ann Arbor certainly does, and Utah does as well. So, there are some similarities. But enough differences where you got to make sure you practice all that stuff and give the guys a chance to go line up against those formations.
And then given how that game went, is there a benefit to playing a team with similar styles so you can, you've seen it, but then also this is an opportunity to, I guess, reprove yourself or?
Yeah, kind of what we were speaking on earlier, just a chance to kind of hopefully get that bad taste out of our mouth about, can we be a physical defense? And we certainly know we can. And makes for great practice. That's what I can tell you. Now, who knows how the game goes? They're an exceptional team, like you said. We'll have an unbelievable challenge, but really proud of how our guys have practiced.
Has that been an ongoing message about toughness or physicality?
Yes, it has. Got to play tough every week, but certainly this week and in this game. Just an opportunity to kind of revitalize on that stuff.
Matt, have you had a chance to talk to Coach Knowles about the possibility of working together and how you guys could work together?
We had a very brief meeting. I could tell right away he's an exceptionally talented and intelligent person. Seems like a great guy. The nature of our conversation did not go that long. He had a bunch of meetings, and I'm running to try to get practice organized and things like that. So I have not really had those conversations.
That was in person?
Yes.
How much would you like to work, based on what you see, the way you run the defense? How much would you like to work with?
Yeah, Bill. You know me, man. I'm a film junkie and an X's and O's guy, and I'm at Ohio State because I've been fortunate enough to be around some great coaches that I stole everything from. I've yet to have almost 15 years in coaching. I don't think I've had an original idea. So I don't have enough ego to say, well, this is mine. I don't. I steal from everybody that I think does a good job, and he's done an exceptional job. I love Ryan Day. I love Ohio State. I love Columbus, Ohio. I love our players. So I certainly love an opportunity to remain here.
It's been an interesting year for you, obviously. Could you kind of assess what it's been like? Self-assessment of the job
It's been particularly early on. It was a tumultuous year. It was the way the season played out early on, and I've said this before, when we weren't playing great defense, I was right at the top of that. I mean, I was in every meeting, and believe me, a lot of the decisions we made were things that I suggested, and when we weren't playing well, and Coach Day decided to make a change, and I think at times we played better defense. I'd love to sit here and tell you that was something I did. It wasn't. It was what we did as a staff. Kind of banded together and moved egos aside and just try to give our kids the best chance we could. I think a lot of it, honestly, is just we had young players, and as young players continue to play, they got better. So I don't know how much of that was schematic and whatever else, as much as it was just getting organized and getting those guys more experience.
Every season is a marathon of a sprint. You go as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Does it feel like even most of the year, because of the change, because of the tumultuousness?
No shortage of grace here on the side, Bill. So, it was. It can always be that way, and particularly, Ohio State's a great place because it's you're at the top of the food chain, and all our eyes are on you, and that's why it's so great. But it certainly adds to the let's go with stress, I suppose. But that's what makes it fun. That's what we're here for.
And you've got a 1-year-old, right?
One. It'll be 2 in February.
Right. How much responsibility is it here?
It's a wonderful place. I've enjoyed every moment that I've been here. I can't imagine there are many head coaches to work for better than Ryan Day, and Columbus, Ohio is an awesome place. So it's a great place, and my wife and I love it here. Henry loves it here. So
Matt, how do you feel like you've grown personally from this year of being the defensive play caller?
Yeah, I think you learn from making mistakes. I certainly made plenty of mistakes. So hopefully I'm smart enough to learn from the things we did wrong and try to avoid those mistakes moving forward.
Does it make you a better position coach when you get this experience of being a coordinator and calling plays?
I think you definitely get an appreciation of what it's like to sit in a different chair, and when you're a position coach, you think you're focused on what your position is, and you say, well, if we do that, that's another thing I've got to install. It's another thing I got to coach and make sure. You move over a chair and you say, well, we need this defense to be able to go win this game. So you certainly have a greater appreciation for how the whole defense fits together.
Bowl practice is usually a time where some younger players, newer players emerge. Anybody you're seeing do that here over the last couple weeks?
It'd be hard for me to single one guy out. The guy, if I were to pick a guy, he's not a he's a younger player. He's played for us. The guy that sticks out to me has had an exceptional bowl practice is Corey Williams. He's played very well for us at times in games. He was just close to being the defensive player of the game against Michigan State. So it's not like he hasn't played. But he's one guy that sticks out to me.
Talked to him a couple weeks ago, and you could tell that there was sort of a palpable vibe from him. Like, I think he knows why he didn't get to play more, especially because he was coming in slow. But is that sort of like hunger, I guess, to get on the field, showing up in practice?
It could be. What I would tell you about Corey Williams is he's the most motivated, hardest working player that I've ever been around, ever. So, I don't know how much you got to light a fire under him. He's lit. He's extremely motivated, and he is a joy to coach, an absolute joy to coach.
Is that going to give you some options for next year to how you assemble things? I know that'll be Jim's decision at the end of the day, but getting him and Ronnie on the field at the same time, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I would say, anyone in charge of an offense or a defense or any organization, you're always trying to get, your best people involved, and certainly those two guys are right at the top of that conversation.
Cam Martinez was a guy who sort of middle of the season flashed a little bit and was making some plays and then didn't have that big of a role beyond that. Where do you guys still need to see, I guess, him take the next step to earn a bigger role?
Yeah, he played, kind of when we made some schematic changes to the defense that made a major change for how, kind of what his best fit was. So he's an awesome young man. I mean, great attitude, works exceptionally hard. I mean, an exceptional person. So he handled it really well, but it was a major change. So we kind of moved him from that nickel position, or what we've called the cover safety position, back into that free safety role. And you got to understand. I mean, that's something that generally happens in spring ball. You know, so for him to do that in the middle of the season, I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, he kind of was in a rotational role in the Michigan State game there with Bryson Shaw, and Bryson Shaw's played outstanding this year. Certainly played what I think was a very good game in the last one. You know, but Cam gives us an opportunity there to rotate. This is kind of what we did in the Michigan State game. He had a little bit of a setback going into the last game, so he wasn't able to play. But he's healthy now, and expecting big things from him in this game.
Is he going to be a free safety from now on, you think?
Hard to say. Again, I think in any organization, it's about getting your best people involved, and he certainly has a chance to be one of the best. So whatever position that is, it's hard to predict the future at this point.
Matt, where do you guys envision missing? How do you guys think you'll miss Haskell in this game?
I mean, Haskell's a great player. You know, he brings energy to our defensive front, and he's been very disruptive for us over the years. Certainly this year as well. So yeah, he'll be missed. But you know, I've said this before. I think Larry Johnson's the best defensive line coach in the history of college football, and he'll do a great job getting the next guy ready to go in the game.
The fact that Haskell's been out of the lineup at times with injuries this year, does that help at all? The fact that you guys have experience for guys filling in for him throughout this year?
Yeah, again, Larry does. You know, if you go back and look, I mean, we've played a whole bunch of guys throughout the year, and so we've got guys that are you know, ready to go play in the game, and particularly with 15 bowl practices, you feel like you're able to get those guys enough practice reps to get them ready. So,
What stands out to you when you watch this Utah running game, specifically Tavion Thomas? What kind of challenges are they going to present to you guys?
yeah, it's a downhill scheme. It's a little bit of zone scheme, a little bit of gap scheme, a little bit of quarterback run, multiple formations, shifts, and motions. And you know, if you're not gapped out, you know, if everybody's not doing their job, you got real problems. And even if you are gapped out, they're so big and physical up front, and they got a horse of a tailback that runs the ball downhill, and against some change of pace guys that even if you are in your gaps, it's, you know, they'll knock you back for 4, 5, 6, and then all of a sudden they slip through a tackle, and the ball's on your free safety right now to get it down. So it's a great challenge. They are an exceptionally well-coached football team, very, very talented, and very physical.
Does that make tackling and fundamentals a big point of emphasis for this game?
Absolutely. I think when you have 15 practices, you can kind of approach it, at least the front half of it, as a development for your team, which some of you guys have alluded to. Just the chance to kind of get your young guys going a little bit and maybe get them some more reps. But the front end of the 15 practices are heavily technique and technique emphasis, and we'll need those things to carry into the game.
Have you faced a running back at all similar to Tavion Thomas at all, or is his size kind of unique?
No shortage of big backs in the Big Ten. It'd be hard for me to point a single one out for you, but there's some a lot of bigger guys that run hard. You know, we see a guy that runs several guys that run exceptionally hard in practice every day. Now we don't tackle that guy to the ground necessarily, but we are no stranger to big physical running backs, and again, he'll be. As I said, he'll be geeked up for this one. He's an Ohio kid, and he's an outstanding player. So it's a great challenge.
Matt, it feels like 10 years ago that Josh Proctor was hurt there too. When you think back on that, the progress he made, the expectations you guys had for this year, how significant would that wind up being?
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a game-changing type of a player, so certainly hurt us. Not only is he a great player, but he's a guy that he's loved. His teammates love him, and he brings another level of energy, another level of competitiveness. So we missed as much as we missed his production on the field. I think maybe more so we just missed his energy off the field.
Do you guys have an idea yet when you might be able to get back to go? Do you go through spring, or is it still too early to know?
All I can tell you right now is he's ahead of schedule from my understanding, he's progressing very well. And it's hard for me to say when he'll be back. I'm sure that, it's something that we would anticipate easing him into. I don't think we want to just jump him back in there right away. But I think the important thing is he's ready to go for next season.
Man, I think one of the underrated parts about fall games is the extra month you get with these guys. Have you seen development, significant advancement from your guys?
I think so. Particularly our young guys that, some guys have been down with scout teams, for the majority of practices throughout the season. So it's an opportunity for those guys to come back and play the defense and execute the scheme and compete at a high level. So I think, particularly early on, it's given our younger guys in particular an opportunity to kind of grow.
I know a lot of your guys have said today they've been working on being more physical. I mean, have you sensed that? Do you feel like that's a challenge in these games?
It's definitely a challenge. Yeah, definitely a challenge. And I think our guys understand that. And Coach Day, from Coach Day down, I think as a staff, that's been something we've tried to disseminate. And our players certainly understand. Great challenge for sure, but we've got very competitive players who take a lot of pride in their performance, and we've tried to make sure that that's what we see in practice every day.
From a preparation standpoint, you guys see Big Ten teams all the time, a lot of similar opponents. Is it more difficult? What's it like having a month to prep for a team that you really never see?
Yeah, fortunately, the extra time, fortunately it helps. But if you play a team, throughout the years, in 3 and 4 years of playing a team, you kind of get a book on them. So obviously, we don't have a book on these guys, and so the extra time has been good, but we realize they have extra time also. So I'm sure we'll see some wrinkles that maybe we haven't seen, and we'll have to do a good job of adjusting in the game and again, giving our guys a chance to be successful.
Matt, you mentioned how Rose Bowl is a chance for younger guys to step up and gain experience. We talked with Ryan a few weeks back. You mentioned how he had a home run last recruiting class with Jordan Hancock and J.K. Johnson. With Jordan in specific, just what do you like about his game that made Ryan praise him as high as he did?
He's extremely competitive. He covers very, very well. And he's an energy giver. He loves to play. He loves to practice. He loves to compete. We guard the best receivers in the country every single day, and he covers it by and large. So just like his approach to the game, and then have certainly seen some development from him here in the last 8 or 9 practices.
Then on the flip side, just with J.K., what do you like about his game that kind of stands out? Maybe will allow him to get more playing time.
Similar to Jordan, honestly. Covers really well, loves to play, loves to practice, loves to compete, wants to be great. Both of them work really hard at it. If you go look every day after practice, the last 2 guys on the field are probably those 2. So they love the game, and hopefully looking forward to being able to get those guys involved.
Staying in that secondary, we talked with Dan Brown earlier this week. You mentioned how we talked with Jeff Okuda. He leans on him for just some advice. Did you know he had such a relationship with Jeff Okuda?
Yeah, I know that those guys are close, and Jeff is an exceptional player, but he's also an outstanding person. And hey, listen, the brotherhood here at Ohio State is real. So when these guys leave, they stay in close contact, and guys that go on to major NFL success, they're still watching our games and talking to our guys and all that type of thing.
I mean, just for a guy like Cam recovering from an injury like that, is he like a sponge when he's learning about the game? I mean, you mentioned how getting back on the field is where he improved most just this season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he works really hard at it, and he's a bright guy, and any player gets better with experience. There's no substitute. There's no film or practice rep that truly simulates what it's like to go out there and play in the game. In front of a full crowd, and when it's moving fast, and it's something you did in practice, and everything's on the line. So just being in an expanded role this year, I know has helped his development greatly.
Now, Matt, I know the playoff maybe has changed things a little bit for the younger guys, but for us, we think of this as the bowl game. What kind of vibe or feeling do you get when you think Rose Bowl?
Yeah, I grew up watching the Rose Bowl game religiously and just kind of being enamored with the pageantry of college football, but certainly I think that's embodied in the Rose Bowl game. I believe it's the longest standing bowl game and so much tradition here. And, from what I gather, it's just a beautiful setting. I've never been in a stadium, I've never been to this game, but seeing it on TV and listening to some firsthand accounts, it's a special deal. So something I'm, as a lifelong college football fan, something I'm very much looking forward to. Yes, yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything to that effect, but I just say personally, I have concern. And you just, for no other reason than I see games around the country being canceled. I have no information that suggests that our game is under threat or anything like that, but I just see how hard our guys work, and I know that they deserve a chance to go play in this game, and just looking at kind of the climate around the country and seeing other games canceled, it's certainly concerning. Yeah, masks everywhere, distancing as much as possible. We're just trying to be smart about what positions we put our players in, and where in the past I know there's been maybe some more events with both teams in tighter quarters, and I think you just got to be smart about how you do those things. So just taking the advice of what we've all been told here over the last however long it's been, 2 years, I guess it's almost 2 years now, and so just trying to take every precaution.
Is there a sort of mental road point that maybe that this game could be canceled at practice to make it a little harder to make plans for the game?
No, I certainly don't feel that way, and I don't think our players feel that way. We really haven't gotten any information suggesting anything is under threat or anything like that. So our guys are focused on the game, focused on every day of practice, and that's really been our
What's the most gratifying thing about this whole season for you? And it's finishing so different than the way it started for you personally. What is the most gratifying thing for you personally this year?
Most gratifying thing for me personally.
We have 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining on Ohio State's media session.
I love to see the development of our players. You particularly the young guys. You recruit them for a year or 2 years, and you get them in and you develop them, and you see what a process it is for them. So seeing some of our young guys develop and really start to play some of their best football and that type of thing, that's been very rewarding. That's certainly something that sticks out. And then again for me, just growing up a big fan of college football and a big fan of the Rose Bowl and everything that goes with it, having a chance to be here and just be a very small part of everything that's going on is a really cool experience, and I'm thankful that even in a day and age where COVID is everywhere, that I'm able to do it with my wife Christina and my soon-to-be 2-year-old Henry.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Ruby talks about how this is such a relationship business on the coaching side. What do you most appreciate about the staff that you guys have right now and the way that you guys work together?
Yeah, I'm thankful for everything I've learned. I've learned so much from these guys over the last couple of years. I think we got a room full of all-stars, and so I made the comment earlier. I'm at Ohio State because I stole from 50 coaches that I had a chance to work for. And don't know that I've had an original thought in football, and I steal from our guys every day. Our staff, they're just they're really, really good, and I'm proud of the way that you know, even though, you know, we had some ups and downs throughout the season, just the way that, you know, I feel like we conducted ourselves in a way that, you know, everyone can be proud of and tell their families about. You know, so just who we are as people, you know, through adversity this year, I'm very proud of us.
Thank you. Appreciate you spending time with us.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Coach.